Hey, how's it going? If you have been in the market for a slushie machine, you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of different ones that look almost exactly the same. Today I'm going to be comparing the Greenpan Frost to the Abuke ice cream and slushie maker. You and I are going to make a whole bunch of stuff together, and by the end of this video you'll be able to tell if there's really any difference between the machines at all. So you ready? Let's get into this. This video is not going to be a full product review of either one of these machines. I actually have both of those pinned up top here if you want to check those out. But instead, we're just going to go straight into some side-by-side testing to compare the results between the two machines. Just keep in mind that at the time of recording, the Greenpan Frost is the most expensive of the slushie machines that can make ice cream, and the Abuke is the cheapest with the same function. Just be sure to keep that in mind while we're doing our tests. Okay, here's the Abuke ice cream and slushie maker, and here is the Greenpan Frost. You can see these machines look almost identical because these machines are almost identical. In fact, if you look at the side of one of these machines and you look closely at the seam right here, everything from that seam back is exactly the same. Even the design on the vents back here are the same. They draw the same amount of power, and I'm going to make the assumption that the compressors in both machines are identical as well. That's something we can't verify for sure, but if I were a betting man, I would say they are the same. In fact, other than that, there's some pretty compelling evidence that both of these machines were made in the exact same factory. And that clue revolves around these plastic pitchers. When I did my product review for the two machines, I found that the door on the bottom of the reservoir was cracked in the exact same way on both machines. What? I had guessed that when they assembled the machines, those containers were torqued on just a little bit too tight and caused that crack. If they're both coming off the same assembly line, then that would explain why they were both broken the exact same way. Now, other than some really slight cosmetic differences, the only real difference between the two machines is this control panel area right here. If you look at the Greenpan Frost and I turn this on, you can see we have slushie, soft serve, spiked slushies, sorbets, milkshakes, and the cleaning function. The mode button right here is touch sensitive, and you've got some different freeze levels for each one of these functions. On the slushie, for example, I can put that all the way at level 1, and it maxes out at level 7. On the Abuke, it's similar but not the same. No touch sensitive button, but if I turn this on, you'll see that the control panel here is designed a little bit differently. On this one, you've got the slushies, you've got soft ice cream, just like that. You've got spiked slushie, just like that, in the exact same order, by the way. But then you have cold drink instead of sorbet. To me, this cold drink setting probably shouldn't even be on this machine because it's pretty useless in my opinion. And then we've got milkshake, which is the same as on the Greenpan right there. The only other option, again, is the cleaning function. So as far as the controls go, they're the same other than that sorbet function, and that sorbet function is definitely a lot different than that cold drink function. Now remember, when I had this set on slushie, the maximum freeze level was level 7. On this machine, if I'm on slushie, the maximum freeze level is level 9. Now, since we have different freeze levels between the two machines, it means that there's definitely software differences between the two machines as well. What we're going to find out is what kind of time differences there are between the two machines and making the same stuff, and the differences for the finished products as well. So we're going to be doing each of these tests with the exact same amount of the same ingredients in each machines, started at the same time, and see how they fare. For our first test, we're going to make some sugar-free green apple slushie. I've used this stuff before in these machines and it's come out really good, so there's no reason not to try it again. Okay, so we'll start this up. We're going to leave it on level 4 for the slushie, seeing as how that is the default on this machine. And on this machine, same deal, level 4. I know we have different freeze levels on the two machines, but if I go too far away from the defaults, I don't really want to risk the times being off by too much or the texture being way different. Not exactly a perfect test, but it's about as good as we can do. We'll put in our green apple stuff first. And then our water. And now we wait. We're about 15 minutes in, and you can see that both of the machines have increased their speed, but the Greenpan Frost is spinning around at higher revs than the Abuke is. Just in case you can't see it really well, I will count out the blade rotation. First the Greenpan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the Abuke, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty close, but not the same. Okay, both of these machines finished processing just about the same time, which would be 32 minutes. Like I said before, this one is spinning at a higher rotational speed, but if you're looking really close at these, you'll see that this is a lot thicker. Remember, they have the exact same amount of liquid in these two machines. So let's take a look at the difference. Here is our Greenpan. It's looking pretty good. And here is the Abuke. Definitely thicker. Okay, if we're looking at these really close, this one is frozen a little bit better. You can see that this one's a little bit more liquidy. Keep in mind that the textures on these can be adjusted with the different settings on the machine. Remember, the Abuke does have access to more freeze levels, but it also doesn't seem like it's the one that needed it. Remember, it's not like these took a different amount of time or anything. If you're looking at these from the top, you can really see the difference. I mean, it looks like the mix is different too. Let's take a quick taste. You can see that this Greenpan one is a little bit more melty here. I could probably crank the level on the machine up one and get a little bit better result. In fact, I know I can because I've done it in the past, but that's not really the point. Now on the Abuke, this is holding together a little bit better just because it's frozen up a little bit more. Looks like there's a little bit more air in it too. And if you're looking at this, you can probably tell on camera how much thicker it appears to be. Really, this comes down to exactly how you like your slushies. Do you like them a little bit more frozen, like this? Or do you like your slushie to be a little bit more slushy, like this? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Just type in either Apple A or Apple G. Now, just out of curiosity, I'm gonna crank the level on the Greenpan up by 1, just to see if it ends up coming out closer to this. Okay, the Greenpan's reached that next level. That took another 10 minutes or so. Let's do another comparison here. If I'm just eyeballing it, they do look like they have about the same texture now. So we'll do the Abuke first this time. And then the Greenpan again. Okay, now this is actually kind of interesting now because, again, our Abuke looks just like it did before, but now the Greenpan at that extra level, this looks really, really good. In fact, I really like the way this came out. Could be a little bit over frozen to you though, it just sort of depends. But you can see how it kind of holds together like that. Look at that. And also remember, for me to get this to this, it took an additional 10 minutes. Let's move on to our next test. For our next test, we're gonna do mocha frappuccinos. I've done these before on the Greenpan, and I just used the slushy setting with the texture turned up to level 5. That turned out perfect last time, so we're gonna keep that there. And for the Abuke, we'll just use the same setting that we used before on the apple slushies, just because it came out so good there. And if I gotta make a slight adjustment at the end, I will, but I think we'll probably be okay. So we'll get these started up. Pour in the Greenpan first. And then we'll fill up the Abuke. Let's see how long these take. Okay, well this was interesting. These are both done and they finished within 5 seconds of each other, even though I had the Greenpan set to that higher cooling. Remember, on those slushies we just made, going from 4 to 5 on the Greenpan took an extra 10 minutes, but it seems like setting it to that right off the bat didn't really make it take any longer. In any case, these look exactly the same now, so it's not like it was before. Okay, let's see how these look. Well, these are looking pretty darn close. In fact, I'd say they're exactly the same. This one is the one from the Greenpan, and this one is the one from the Abuke. Yeah, those textures are exactly the same. Well, let's turn these into fun drinks. Well, there you go. Doesn't look too shabby. As far as I'm concerned, both machines did that pretty much perfect. Remember, we did set the Greenpan machine right here up to a higher freeze level. And the only reason I did that is because I already kind of knew how it was going to come out because I made frappuccinos in this machine before. But remember, ironically, it didn't affect the time, so I'd say it is a win-win. Yeah, those are good. Excuse me while I drink these. Okay, moving on to spiked slushies. We're gonna make some strawberry daiquiris. So we're gonna set this to spiked slushie, and we're gonna leave that on the default. And same thing with this. All right, and by now, you know the drill. Okay, our daiquiris are ready. These each took 38 minutes to finish. The Greenpan finished up about 30 seconds faster, but I poured all the stuff into the Greenpan first, so it just sort of evens out. Let's check out our results. Okay, we got our Greenpan here. That's coming out pretty thick. Well, it's coming out better now. Now for the Abuke. And we're looking almost exactly the same here. Remember, keep in mind that we can make these thinner if we had set the machines to a lesser freeze level. But I kind of like them here, to be totally honest. You can see it's mixed really well. Holding together really good. Same with the Abuke. So I guess this test is a wash. Let's see how these taste. Yep, good stuff. For the fourth and final test, we're gonna do the soft serve ice cream. So for that, we're gonna set our machines to the soft serve, and we're gonna set the freeze levels to whatever the maximum is for each machine. The reason we're just going with the maximum settings is because these machines always freeze it a little bit on the soft side, and we want to get this as hard as we possibly can. So just like with the other tests, we're gonna go fill the Greenpan first. We're just doing some plain Jane vanilla ice cream in here. Now over to our other machine. And again, we wait. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Alright, it looks like these got done almost exactly the same time, and we are at 34 minutes. And if I look at the ice cream in here, looks like the stuff from the Greenpan is slightly thicker. We'll find out when we dispense it. So we'll put these little star-shaped thingies on here. We'll do the Greenpan first. Looking pretty good. Then we'll get the Abuke. That's looking pretty darn good too. Okay, now the moment of truth. This is the Greenpan ice cream. Nice and smooth. Again, pretty soft though. Soft serve ice cream is acceptable, it's really good. but it is really soft. Barely hard enough to really put it on a cone. Now the Abuke, identical. I can't really tell the texture difference between the two right now, and the hardness is about the same too. If I really had to make a decision, I would say that the Greenpan is a little bit more airy. Excuse me while I finish these up. Well, I don't know about you, but to me, that was really telling. Just as I expected, the two machines are definitely slightly different with the different fronts and the different firmwares. However, the difference really isn't very much at all. In fact, if you're interested in one of these machines, probably the biggest selling point for the Greenpan is going to be the customer service. If you happen to have any problems with the Abuke, most likely you're going to have to deal with their support through their Amazon page. However, if you look at these two machines strictly based on the price gap, you got the Greenpan all the way up at the top at $399, and the Abuke can range anywhere between $260 and $330. Even at $330, that's a pretty big price gap considering the fact that the performance is really close. And if you can get it on sale at $260, it's going to be really hard to pass up. If you'd like a little bit more information about either one of these machines, I do have Amazon affiliate links for them down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, I do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, you might want to check out these videos right here where I did full product reviews for both of these machines. If you were thinking about getting either one of those, then those videos should give you all the information that you need. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again here really soon. Until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.